Hi Eagles, we're your ASB team and welcome to the HIB Assembly.
HIB stands for harassment, intimidation, and bullying.
This is a serious assembly, so please respect and listen for the messages and information presented.
We are here to make everyone feel safe and welcome here.
We're here to demonstrate the kind and respectful culture all Eagles deserve.
We are here to talk about the importance of treating people kindly.
You'll see a continuous skit throughout the assembly, hear definitions, and see stop-motion examples.
We hope you find this useful and enjoy the presentation.
Have you ever been bullied?
What?
Have you ever been bullied?
Bowling?
Bullied?
Have I ever been bullied? Oh man.
Oh yeah.
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 Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
I would get called kharoof, which is goat in Arabic, because my hair was super fluffy.
I was told that I was not pretty.
I have a heart condition, so that kind of stunted my growth when I was younger. I got picked on a lot because I was significantly smaller.
Got bullied for having big ears.
About my lips,
Red hair.
Braces. When I was younger, I used to have this cavity on the front of my tooth. Kids would always make fun of me for that.
Having bad skin.
Acne and
Eczema. So whenever I wore like short sleeves, it was always like, ew.
I got made fun of my last name a lot.
What's your last name?
Bodily. I got made fun of a lot for that, so.
Have you ever been bullied?
From like preschool all the way to like senior year of high school.
kindergarten, elementary school.
I can't even really remember exactly why, but they took like an apple and they like put it in mud and they wanted to give it to me to eat. It wasn't even that bad, just traumatizing.
Have you ever been bullied?
Yes, when I was in
Middle school?
I had this girl in middle school that like would literally steal my lunch.
People photoshopped my name onto like incredibly offensive posts and started circulating them.
I was like quintessentially pushed up against the lockers.
Grabs me by the sweater, puts me up against the locker.
Have you ever been bullied?
Yeah.
What about?
My weight.
Wait.
That's the easiest thing, right? I feel like bullies always pick on like the thing that they see first.
Have you ever been bullied?
When I first came over to the States, my English wasn't really good. I remember a teacher making fun of me because I didn't understand the difference between hand and head.
Because I moved here from another country, the language was very new to me. And the girls here were like very mean because like I was a new kid and I like didn't really know what they were saying.
Some ladies bullied me because of my accent.
And just making fun of the way that I speak Vietnamese.
After 9/11, people kept joking and saying that Osama bin Laden was my dad, which was super hurtful because this is someone that you see on the news as like this super villain.
For some reason, the teacher wanted everybody to go around and compliment each other. It gets to this girl, and her only compliment is, "Your eyes aren't that chinky for an Asian person."
I was bullied a lot for being Asian as a kid.
A lot of generalizations about Asians.
And I was just like super kind of ashamed with it.
I was bullied for looking Asian, for being Asian, even though I'm not Asian.
I got teased because I have a black brother, and so we got a lot of like racist names at us. I still get emotional talking about it. It's so stupid, but those little things hurt.
Have you ever been bullied?
I was hanging around like a group of people that didn't have my best interests in mind.
At the time, I didn't see it as bullying. And then as I grew older, that's when I realized I allowed myself to be treated poorly.
Have you ever been bullied?
There was this kid, Nick, he said, "Your shoe's untied." And I looked down and he comes up with a fist right into my nose.
When I was little, I used to run home and cry. And my dad said to me, "If they hit you, just hit them back." And one day there was he just heard this kid crying and he was like, "Oh, here she comes, here she comes." And it wasn't me, it was a kid I hit, so.
I got bullied when I was a child. Her name was Judy, and she kept pushing me in gravel. So I saved my allowance and I bought an ivory bar of soap and I frosted it and I gave it to her and she took a big bite out of that thing and it was soap and it was the best. I saw her do it and then I ran.
As soon as you like fight back, usually they go find somebody else to pick on immediately.
I dodged a lot of bullying purely out of the fact that people were afraid that if they said to me that I would be like, "Say it again."
Have you ever been bullied?
Have I ever been bullied?
No.
No.
No. No.
No.
No.
Were you the bully?
I was the one who was doing a lot of bullying growing up.
I became a bully because I got bullied.
I was the bully of the bullies.
Probably made the situation worse when it came down to it.
This girl was bullying this boy. I must have been having a bad day. And then we got in a fight. She did not come back to school after that.
I would kick some kids that were too fast for me, just to tag them back. And maybe that was a little bit bullying, but...
Why did you bully?
Insecurities.
Insecurities.
I was very insecure.
I was a little jealous.
You want to apologize to anybody?
If you remember being at Southgate Elementary, remember Olivia being mean and having kids ignore you, I really apologize.
Have you ever been bullied?
Yes.
What for?
Being gay.
Gay.
Being
trans. I definitely was bullied for being super flamboyant.
I received a fair amount of homophobia, even though I'm straight.
But because most of my inner circle is LGBTQ, they just go, oh, well, Jordan's gay.
When I was in college, I went to a party at a fraternity, and then they scooped me up, went out the front door, and literally threw me out into the lawn, like a movie scene.
Ever get revenge?
No.
I think I did. Just being happy is my revenge.
I guess the revenge would be that I didn't let it get me down to the point where I wasn't still able to be myself.
I never really got back at them. I just kind of live my life and do what I do and excel and succeed, and I think that's kind of revenge enough.
What is harassment? Harassment is intentionally targeting a person's race, color, religion, ancestry, national origin, gender, sexual orientation, or mental or physical or sensory handicap. And that targeting of a person results in causing injury to another person, or physical damage or destruction of personal property, or threatening to harm a specific person and the person threatened is in reasonable fear. A very popular form of harassment is sexual harassment, unfortunately. Sexual harassment is unwelcome sexual advances, requests for sexual favors, and other verbal or physical conduct of a sexual nature, or is sexual comments and or behavior directed at a person because of his or her sex. Harassment can range in many sizes, from big to small. But no matter what the size, it is very harmful to the victim as it affects their emotional and mental well-being, sometimes even their physical well-being. You may have experienced harassment yourself through racial or sexual orientation slurs, microaggression, or purposeful misgendering, to name a few.
This first poem is about the effects that harassment can have on a person. How did my greatest fears go from heights, bugs, and killers in closets to footsteps outside my bedroom door, unexpected calls, talking to people, buying things in stores, failing school, phones and messages, eating in front of people, laughter behind my back? How did my greatest fear become my own mind?
The second portion of HIB is intimidation, which is implied or overt threats of physical violence to engage or not engage in an action or event. Overall, it's to make timid or fearful, especially frightened. It causes a loss of courage or self-confidence. Some examples are physical violence or threats, yelling or screaming, hostile physical posturing, the ridiculing or insulting of a person in front of others, intentionally assigning tasks that you may find difficult, and acting like they hold power against you. It can happen anywhere, at school, work, or on the streets. It can happen with friends or family.
This second poem is about the point of view of someone suffering from being intimidated. Too many thoughts race through my mind, like a crowd of people running frantic in a burning theater, each one giving a reason to be afraid. Success will only come to be once those reasons are made into nonsense, and those fears are overcome through great accomplishment. But failure is impossible, and must be, if the individual puts full effort into dousing the fire.
last part of HIB is bullying. Bullying is unwanted, aggressive behavior that involves a real or perceived power imbalance. The behavior is repeated or has the potential to be repeated over time. People who bully use their power, such as physical strength, access to embarrassing information, or popularity to control or harm others. Not all bullies are the same. They each have different styles and tactics. Even though there are so many types of bullying, I'll be addressing 3 main forms of bullying. First, I'll be addressing physical bullying. It's the easiest to identify and it tends to be bigger, stronger, and aggressive. Next, verbal is very difficult to identify, but it's often one person's word against others.
Hey, what's up, y'all? Jeremy Anderson here. Check this out. I want to talk to you real briefly about bullying. I get it, and I know what you're probably thinking, oh my God, another video about bullying. That's right, another video about bullying. Like, it happens so much, it happens so often, and we gotta put a stop to it. And guess what? You got the power. Even if you've been a bully in the past, you got the power to say, you know what? I don't want to be that person no more. I don't want to be someone that hurts people. I don't want to be someone that takes away from people. I don't want to be someone that picks on people that are smaller than me. I want to have a better character. I don't want to be the one that sets the house on fire. I want to be the one to put the fire out. I don't want to be the one that causes crime and bad things to happen. I want to be the one that protects our community. Right? You don't want to be the perpetrator. You know what I'm saying? You want to be the one that comes and brings aid, right? And so you have a choice. Now you might be watching this and say, I've never bullied anybody, but I've been a bully myself. Well, I want to challenge you to use your power. Use your power. When I say use your power, I mean use your voice. When you see something, you got to speak up. Right? Because you give them your power when you stay silent. You give them your power when you don't say anything. You give them your power when you don't hold them responsible. And I know you might be feeling like, well, what if they say something? Are they going to say, I'm just scared or I'm afraid? That's fine. You know what I'm saying? But we really see that they are scared or that they are afraid if they're doing the things that they're doing. I need you to take back your power and use your voice. If you see something, say something. I need you to use your influence. Some of you watching this video, you got crazy influence within your school. There's so much personality, so much style, so much influence that you've been gifted with. You can use that. I want to see a day, I want to see an environment, I want to see a school where when bullying takes place, as opposed to other kids laughing at the one that was bullied, a bunch of people sit back and say, hey, that's not cool. Don't ever do that. That's not funny. That's not nice. And now the bully feels like, wow, oh, that's not cool no more. No. I want us to create a type of culture that where everybody, regardless of how they speak, regardless of what they look like, regardless of what their sexual orientation or their religious beliefs, like regardless of where they come from, the color of their skin, the texture of their hair, regardless of what they have going on. We show them love. We show them affection. Like, that's the fabric of America. That's what makes America great. When we are able to accept and love and affirm and pour into, you know what I'm saying, and bring out the best and see the best in people. That's what makes us powerful. And you all, I'm so passionate about this because you all are our future leaders. You all are the future city councilmen and congressmen and senators and teachers and engineers and principals and counselors and police officers. You all are the future. And if our country is going to have a fighting chance and take back our place in the moral world, then we've got to be willing to stand up and say the bullying stops on our watch. We've got to be willing to say, if I see something, I'm going to say something. We've got to be willing to be the type of young men and women that says, you know what, I'm going to do the best that I can do within my ability to advocate and bring relief and aid to those who are struggling and suffering. I want to see a school, I want to see a culture where bullying doesn't exist. I want to see a place where it's lame to be a bully. I want to see a school where it's corny to be bullying. I want to see an environment where people are like, why would you do that? What's wrong with you? Like, I want to see that type of response as opposed to a bunch of people laughing because they want to fit in with the cool crowd. Here's the reality. I speak at a lot of jails. I go to a lot of detention centers with people that's locked up. And when I sit with them, you know what they tell me? It started when I was in school. I was bullying people, I was picking on people, and when I look up and see where they are today, behind bars, it breaks my heart. You all don't have to experience that. You all don't have to be that way. You all can make a change now for the better. So again, if you're watching this and you know you've been a bully in the past, you ain't gotta be a bully no more. You know now that your actions, your behavior, it hurts people. You know now that what you do has the power to hurt somebody's feelings. They might laugh or act like it doesn't really affect them, but when they go home at night, when they look in the mirror, their feelings are hurt. They feel a certain type of way. Now they're questioning their worth or their doubt. The suicide rate is so high in our country. People are already trying to barely hang on, and then they have to come to school and deal with some of this hatred. No. You can change. And those of you that's like, no, I'm not a bully, but I have been bullied and I've seen people being bullied, then now you have an opportunity to do something about it. Now you can use your voice. Now you can use your influence. Now you can use your heart and you can treat other people how you want them to treat you. I believe that's what goes to show the test and character of people today. And so we can ask ourselves, how would I want someone to treat me? Let me make sure I give that same respect, that same love, that same treatment to the next person. And I believe that when you do that, that's going to take your life to one level, and the next level, and the next level, and we're going to look up, and you're going to be doing some absolutely amazing things. I know it's possible because I lived a life where I struggled and I failed and I had bad attitude and bad behavior and bad grades, and I got to a point where I said, you know what? I don't want to fail no more. I want to be successful. I want to thrive. I want to travel the world. I want to drive a nice car. I want to be educated. I want to get degrees. I want to write books. I want to be successful. It's inside you. It's already inside you. But it's time for you to show the world how great you can be.
This next poem is about someone who has fallen victim to bullying. Most days, I find it hard to look in the mirror. At times, I convince myself that nobody would miss me if I were gone. My scars tell stories that I wish I could keep to myself. I cry for no reason and have trouble figuring out the way I'm supposed to function, when my mind is such a scary place. But I got out of bed this morning, and that's a start. This poem that I'm about to read is about what life would be like if we spread love. When eyes see beauty and ears hear laughter, when the senses are awakened to the day's fresh fragrances, when mouths speak only kind and guiding words, when arms embrace, when hands help, when fingers no longer point, when legs march only for peace, when feet dance in joy, when minds unite to create good and there is respect for all, then the heart and soul will sing with love. Now, this next and final poem is about why we should spread kindness. I shall pass through this life but once, and any good, therefore, I can do, or any kindness I can show, let me do it now. Let me not defer or neglect it, for I shall never pass this way again. This story that I am about to read was shared by the now 26-year-old Alex, who had encountered HIB in his younger years. I have always been different. I knew I was not one of the popular guys, nor was I one of the sporty guys, or the geeky guys. I was me, and I was, from a young age, rejected by most of my peers. I would like to point out that there is nothing wrong with being yourself. You are you. Don't ever try to be someone else, or to just fit in with your peers. In the long run, strength is not who can call someone the worst names, or hit the weakest in class. Strength is having the ability to overcome adversity, to get up when you are at your lowest, and to come back stronger. I hope that whilst my experience of bullying has been extremely negative, that you will find inspiration from the way I have overcome it. In primary school, I was identified by those of a similar age as a target of victimization, because of physical appearance and shy manner. This was led by a handful of children. I felt secluded from my peers, even at this young age, and I had one friend. One good friend is better, though, than 30 fake friends. When we are young, we want to be popular. However, when you get older, you want loyalty from your friends. You want a friend to be there. A piece of advice here is that whatever your age is, even for adults, don't just think you have to fit into what they want. Those in school who were supposed to help me failed in their duty of care. As a child, I had messy handwriting. However, rather than helping me, one teacher decided that she would make an example of me in front of the whole group. This was followed by a trip to see the head teacher. Adults can bully just the same as children can, and from a teacher, that bullying can sometimes be even worse than that from a child. I wish that I had told my parents about the victimization I encountered in primary school when I was in the care of that school. There are a variety of external agencies out there, such as local education authorities, charities, and government. I want more victims of bullying to be aware of these agencies and to contact these. The bullying intensified as I entered high school. In high school, I was suddenly in a year full of 240 other children of the same age. It was clear things were about to get worse. At that time, I would have failed to comprehend the degree to which this would be true throughout my time there. In the first year, a number of bullies had turned my entire class against me. The bullies picked on all aspects of myself: my ginger hair, my glasses, my surname, and me not using my first name, amongst other issues. Later in school, I was also bullied for my sexuality. Years later, I realized that it was not any of these things on their own. The bullies did not like me. Even if I did not have any of these physical traits, they still would have found other things to bully me about. However, here is the thing with any type of bullying. It is not your problem. It's the bullies. Bullies are weak themselves. By telling people, a cycle of abuse can be broken. If the adult you tell does not listen, tell another, and demand that your voice is listened to. One of the most shocking incidents that happened to me was during a drama lesson. It was a game we had played every week. This week, however, we had a different drama teacher, as our drama teacher was absent. The game was that there would be enough chairs for everyone, except for the person whose turn it was. That person would have to say something that people in the room could have in common. For example, all those wearing red socks would have to get up and run to an empty chair. This one boy in my drama class decided to say out loud on his turn, "Everyone who dislikes Alex," to which my whole form stood up. Bullies rarely act alone, and the individuals who support bullying, or as I call them, sheep, are supporting the bully's behavior. Victims of bullying need to tell adults, who in turn need to press for wider change within the school's ethos towards bullying. This starts with the victims of bullying telling those who can help them about their experience, which includes instances of cyberbullying. That said, there were a number of teachers who provided support and help to me. I should have told more people outside of the school environment at the time. Schools have a responsibility of care. In other words, they are acting as your legal guardian whilst you are in their care. While schools state that you have a responsibility to them to act in a particular way, I would argue that the school has a greater responsibility to you, which is to protect you. Don't let any school pretend that bullying does not happen, or even worse, that bullying is somehow your fault. Demand that more is done. A lot has changed in the years since I left school. There is now more support out there for victims of bullying, but also more agencies and charities who are able to support victims of bullying and demand change. What did school teach me? I achieved reasonably in my exams, but I learned 3 valuable life lessons as well. First, that some people are cruel and nasty. Second, I was stronger than I realized. And last, that I will make it my life aim to change education for the better. After leaving school, I went on to achieve a degree, master's degree, and teaching qualifications in adult education and English to speakers of other languages. I also have a good CV for a person of my age, with paid and voluntary work experience. I have also become myself, become more confident in myself, and learned that there is nothing wrong with myself. In a few months, I shall be going back to university to continue my studies, studying for a research degree. It is quite ironic that my specialist subject in the school sciences is education. My experiences have made me believe in education, and how the sort of experiences which I went through should never be experienced by anyone. I firmly believe that education is valuable, and no one should disrupt your experience of it. Bullying is wrong. Full stop. Tell someone that you are not the first person to be bullied. What are you waiting for?
Hey Eagles, it's us again. We hope you found this HIB Assembly informational and entertaining.
We hope all you learned little something about the effects that harassment, intimidation, and bullying can have on others.
So, with that being said, please remember that your words have weight, and what you say to others affects them.
Remember to always be kind, considerate, and respectful to the feelings of others around you.
Thank you all so much for watching. We'll see you guys next time.
Bye, Eagles.